we all know Donald Trump is a thug. And that thug enlisted other thugs to help him try to steal the 2020 election. They lied. They made stuff up. They did all of that. Now Donald Trump, now mind you, those white domestic terrorists who he loved on January 6th, he pardoned them. Now he's pardoning the folks who were part of the, quote, stop the steal, who themselves were actually trying to steal. 77 people he pardoned. The list includes Rudy Giuliani, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, and several of the so-called alternate electors who attempted to certify Trump's loss as a win. Listen to this joke of a statement these fools sent out at the White House. They called a move an end to a grave national injustice and a step towards reconciliation. Really? So this is the same guy who let go of the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, the racists. Oh, but let's be real clear. It's on the federal level. This does not touch those who've been charged on the state level. And let's be real clear, Omékongo, Sidney Powell, and others. Oh, these idiots have lost their law licenses. Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
See, Trump can give you a pardon on federal crimes. Guess what? That pardon, you can't get your law license back in California or in Colorado or in Washington, D.C. And so these idiots chose to give up their entire livelihood, but that con man. And so all he's doing right here is showing us how much of a thug he is with his latest pardons.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was watching an interview with Ice-T over the weekend, and he said that Trump has more friends in jail than he does. And I'm like, wow, that really says a lot. I mean, with this guy, he is the master of mob-like tactics. And what he's really doing is that he's also showing other people going forward that if they represent him in any way, shape, or form and stick up for him in some way, shape, or form, they will get a pardon. What's like Ken Martin's mindset that he says, he says, no MAGA left behind, his pardon attorney, whatever his title is, no MAGA left behind. That's their mindset. I look at if the guy who went at Hakeem Jeffries, gets convicted, they'll probably pardon him as well. This is who they are. And this is who they are. But you're absolutely right, Roland. There are other consequences that go beyond whether Trump pardons you or not, or whether you don't go to jail or not. You can be disbarred. You can lose your medical license. You can have trouble finding jobs if you don't have the skills to be able to be on some of these news networks like a Fox, or these networks, it's not news, like Fox, and look good for the cameras. You're not going to be able to find work. And people need to be mindful of it. And I believe that's why people like Marjorie Taylor Greene are starting to slowly distance themselves from MAGA, even though the media needs to hold her more accountable for her actions as well, because they realize that riding this Trump bandwagon can only get you so far. And so, yeah, Rudy Giuliani, fine, you got pardoned, but you can't practice law anymore. So there are so many situations and stories. What about the guy who he said grab him in the P word to, right? Bush or something? Where's his career? Like, so many people that attach themselves to him in the long run, they end up getting destroyed. And that's the greater lesson that people should know who enter Trump's orbit, because they get so his former fixer, Michael Cohen, right? Because they get so caught up in the lure of it, but they don't realize that he only gives a damn about himself. And some of them don't realize it until it's too late.
It's real simple, Tyler. This corrupt thug, he has pardoned a whole bunch of people who are thugs, who are corrupt, who have been found guilty by juries, by judges of fraud. So guess what? Donald Trump is happy. He's right at home with this rogues list of individuals.
Absolutely. And I think as I think about this, I hold space and think about the many black folks who continue to fill prisons for nonviolent offenses, minor mistakes, and basic system inequalities, while Trump here just hands out pardons to those who really tried to overthrow our government and our democracy. And I think this just shows the two-tier system that we talk about. Like, it's one for them and it's one for us. And it's the same system that punishes Black protesters and organizers for marching for justice, while Trump now just gives out pardons to insurrectionists for breaking it. And so I think it just makes it more clear of the system that we talk about, the two-tier system. And like I said, there's folks that are sitting behind bars who didn't do nothing, and yet here we are, folks that have tried to overthrow our government is getting a pass in a slap on the wrist. So it's very frustrating to see. But like I said, I think it shows folks where folks' priorities are.
Well, I'm reading a couple of items here, so give me 1 second. Bottom line here, he's a crook, Niambi. He's a thug. He's corrupt. He's fraudulent. And so he is right at home with the people who are themselves convicted of fraud.
Oh, absolutely. Which was why I thought Doge was so hilarious, talking about they're going after waste, fraud, and abuse. I'm like, it's in the White House. You don't have to look far. I mean, listen, this man is collecting people's reputations and professions like infinity stones. And it's always interesting to me how quickly people are willing to sacrifice themselves for this man. He comes out unscathed, it seems like, every single time, yet everybody else is reaping the whirlwind of being his henchmen and are happy to do it, it seems. I mean, you look at a person like a Rudy Giuliani who 20 years ago, right, could do no wrong. He was America's mayor, riding high after, the tragedy of September 11th and what he was able to do in that city. But even before that, his career as a prosecutor, to then find himself under investigation by some of those same offices. Right. I mean, this is how quickly that tide can turn. And I think something you rightly pointed out, Roland, is that none of these people are safe from state charges. There is no office you can go back to, restore your reputation. Your professional career is gone. No one in your profession takes you seriously. And what do you have left? Because many of these people are not young even. Right? They don't have more life ahead of them than they do behind them, unfortunately. So what does the rest of their life look like? Now, I'm not crying them any rivers. I don't think any of them are probably hurting financially or whatever. I can't speak on their finances, but I mean, you look around and all that's left are ashes because you burned your career, your reputation, your morality. At the altar of this man who cares no more about you, because once you cease being useful to Donald Trump, he's done with you. And all of these people are done, essentially. This was their parting gift, this pardon.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And so, listen, the thugs are happy because one of their own is sitting in the Oval Office. All right.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.